Constable Ryan Ehalt is the Crime Stoppers coordinator, and there's been a number of changes in the organization in terms of what's coming and some of the changes in how we're reporting crime. So, Constable, thank you for making time for us today.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Crime Stoppers. I mean, it's fairly familiar to a lot of people, but maybe give us some background of where it started and how you got to be involved.
For sure. Crime Stoppers have been involved in the city of Saskatoon since 1987. It's an anonymous-based program where we get tips about crime in the city of Saskatoon and use those tips to help solve crime that has occurred.
When we see the program itself, it's anonymous. There's always the naysayers out there that say, sure, they say there's not any tapping of these phones, or they don't know who the caller ID is, and so on. Is it truly anonymous when someone does call or text that in?
Yes, it's truly anonymous, so we never ask for any names. Actually, the phone we have, I think, was first built in 1987, so there's definitely no call display on that. And all we want is information. In fact, when people actually want to provide their names, we actually stop them short and tell them, no, this is anonymous. We don't actually want to know who you are. We just need your information.
What happens when you determine what cases get put towards Crime Stoppers? So if are you having trouble locating or identifying or trying to solve that particular crime because of some instances or evidence, what would determine what makes a crime eligible for Crime Stoppers?
Well, any crime that's not currently solved right now is we need information about. So anything that you might know of a crime that has occurred, such as even today at the courthouse today where we had the explosion, we are looking for tips with regards to that to help the police solve that investigation.
You must have a network that both with your officers on the street and then close community contacts, let's say, that people willingly want to participate. I know of several businesses that will offer their video footage if asked, or maybe see something and provide that video camera footage that they have in their security systems. Are you seeing more of a partnership starting to form as technology starts to change?
Yeah, the video is excellent evidence and has often led to many successful arrests and conclusion of files. At the same time, there's still people that need to be identified that are out there, and it's part and parcel with the new program that we currently launched, a Can You Identify program, where we post clear suspect photos of people who've committed offenses to our website and encourage people to come view them and have a look and see if they can identify any of those people. This program primarily will focus on minor offenses where we do have a traditional Crime of the Week segment that most people are familiar with that airs on CTV on Mondays, focusing on sort of major crimes such as robberies or break-and-enter or violent assaults. This program affords us an opportunity to help solve a full spectrum of crime, from crimes that are considered major in nature to minor in nature. But it's at the request of the Saskatoon Police Service, the officers investigating it, that we become involved. We don't just take video surveillance and start posting it to our website. So we just want to make sure businesses and communities are aware that this program is in existence. Number one, if unfortunately you become the victim of some crime and it happens to be captured on video, let the officer know that you'd be interested in having it go to Crime Stoppers. Those types of crimes we want to be able to help the community solve. So whether it's major or minor, we want to know about it.
What is your rough estimate in terms of the success rate of the program? Has it been measured over the years, or are there some highlights that you can share?
Well, because of the nature of the anonymity of the program, we can't necessarily talk about specific crimes that the program has helped solve that could potentially lead to identifying a source, and that's the whole reason the program is in existence,
Sure.
is to keep those people safe. But we can speak in generalities and say we have received information on murder investigations. We have received information on theft investigations that have led to some additional information being received that is assisted in arresting, whether it's timely information that helps point to where a suspect might be, or information that breaks the case wide open and points the city police in a specific direction.
How do you see, you've been with the program for some time now, but you're looking at the history in 30 years of operation, there's been a number of different officers in charge of that coordinating role. How do you see someone in your role kind of growing that and having more success as time goes on?
Well, with social media now becoming a very valuable tool to law enforcement, so we're now seeing the full benefit of using social media. So when I first took over the Crime Stoppers coordinator position, social media was something that we were involved in, but we weren't very strong in. So seeing that was a very excellent opportunity to get the community engaged in what Crime Stoppers is doing, getting us back to our roots, solving all types and all manner of crime, becoming something that people are talking about. We're engaged with the community. Look what we're trying to do. We tap into the emotions and feelings that people feel with our posts and things like that really relate with people. People are just, quite honestly, fed up with crime. So with social media, we took the opportunity to use our Can You Identify program, and now we share that. As a result of that, we end up getting more followers. More followers mean people are most likely to share that more with their circle of friends, and as a result, we've had some successes. So I can talk about within the launch of the Crime Stoppers Can You Identify program just recently launched. It was sort of in existence before, but we revamped it and made it more user-friendly. With the 11 photos that we've posted in the last month, we've solved 2 of those files. One was a break and enter that led to solving additional 2 other break and enters. So just seeing that alone as a success in terms of Crime Stoppers, and not only that, today we end up solving a theft under investigation as a result of the Can You Identify program. So we're seeing the benefit of that.
It raises a question, I guess, for me as a citizen. If I was going to submit something that I had on my phone, is there any way that would be traceable back to me? Or I guess if you and I were known to each other and we were the only 2 people in the room and I submitted a photo or a video, it's pretty obvious. But is there any safeguards for the individual submitting that evidence or that information
Absolutely.
to you?
It's actually up to the victim of the crime whether or not they would be willing to have us share their video footage or photos on our Crime Stoppers website. So it's up to the victim. So they should be provided with information. They'd sign a waiver form authorizing Crime Stoppers to use it, and we edit it in such a way that we don't identify which business or where it actually happened, or if there's other people in the photograph or video that had nothing to do with it, the crime, then we make sure those are edited out.
I would imagine that just on the informative basis, if you as an investigative officer might happen to see some evidence of one individual that may have only been, not to diminish the value of a stolen purse, but if there was a purse that was stolen maybe at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and a vehicle was stolen at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the same description, that must come into play, that it's not a small amount of information that you as an officer will look at. I mean, if you start to compile all of the different pieces of the puzzle, and you have one individual with a gray toque and a black money hug, and is wearing that particular outfit for a number of these different smaller crimes, it must be easier to trace those individuals and criminals.
Well, coming from the strictly investigative side, yes, especially if we have video of one, and that'll come down to the investigator to, first of all, if we identify person in one of the crime A, let's say it's the purse crime, but we also think that the person might be responsible. Yeah. They'll be up to the investigating officer to interview that suspect and gather more information with regards to that. And things such as photo lineups would be utilized at that point by the investigating officer. So like a Crime Stoppers' role would be to identify a suspect, point the investigator in a specific direction, help them have a suspect to begin with if there wasn't one, and then from there the case can grow and develop.
When you see the next couple of months, let's say, this is spring of 17, if we were to fast forward into the fall, are there some benchmarks that you're looking for in terms of what you want to see from the program and any funding and how that would all contribute towards the development of what you're doing?
For sure. Right now, Crime Stoppers is a community-run nonprofit organization. Yes, I as an officer help facilitate tips between the organization and the Saskatoon Police Service, but the tips themselves, which are paid to tipsters for any information that leads successfully to an arrest, that comes directly through fundraising efforts put forth by Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. So we have two major fundraising events coming up this year. One is one on May 7th, which is we're partnering with the Saskatoon Police Service Foundation for their half marathon event. And this is to raise money for the Saskatoon Police Service Foundation as well as Crime Stoppers. We saw an opportunity. Both are community-minded organizations that really want to make a difference in the community, just in different ways. So right now the Saskatoon Police Service Foundation is trying to raise money for a piece of equipment so that they can help locate wandering people. I can't speak too much further about that at this point, but it's very exciting for the city of Saskatoon, especially with unfortunate death of a recent person that had Alzheimer's and wandered away, Mrs. Katie Bragg. But that type of an event could be avoided in the future if we had this equipment and the proper bracelet was provided to those who are prone to wander. So we're excited about partnering with that. As well, the money raised from the event goes also to the Saskatoon Police Service the Saskatoon Crime Stoppers, and that money will go directly paying tips of solving crimes such as the Can You Identify program. So as people identify and come forward for the tip, we're going to be paying for that information. And our long-term goal for the Can You Identify program is that we become so successful that we can use it as a crime deterrent and promote our successes through the media and through Shaw TV Connect and other places, just to say this is what we're doing. There's consequences for your actions, whether it's basically a big crime or small crime. We will attempt and most likely solve most of those, especially when we have a clear suspect photo.
I think we'll do our part, and nice to see you advancing the work of Crime Stoppers through your role, and I appreciate you making time and sharing that with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the program.
Constable Ryan Ehalt with the Crime Stoppers program. We'll be right back after this message.